like we always start every show, if you see us standing here, then you know that you have walked into Whalers Corner, and we're gonna talk about pure domination. We're talking about a team that got a wake-up call from the coach. They got a wake-up call from the fans, and when you have a Game 5, and you have a chance to beat up the team, slow down, run your pace, go up and down the ice, slow this team down, and then say, okay, we see you on your ice the next day. This is how you put a win together. You get a win 5-0. What was the shots on that?
44-17, I think. 44-17. Was that it?
Yeah. That's pure domination. And it's not getting us twisted, okay? We talked about the goaltending for this team. They have one of the best goaltending in the OHL, and for a team like the Whalers to come out with a can-do attitude the way they came out, and you put a nice 5-spot behind the goaltender, then you can just kind of put yourself in cruise control and get yourself mind and physically ready for game 6.
It was a shock to me. I mean, I think you've heard us talk about it. I have a lot of respect for Owen Sound. This is a tough team. I think you said it before Game 1. This wasn't going to be an easy series. It hasn't been an easy series. There's no guarantee for game number 6 to be sure. This was a surprise to see the Whalers do what they did here tonight.
And I think the biggest surprise was you come to a lot of games to see the Whalers play, but you don't see them truly dominate every aspect of the game. And they came out here and they just wanted to make sure, when they look back at this game, there was no question asked who had the better team and who has a better emotions going to game 6.
You don't want to take anything away from the goaltender either, because Alex Nedeljkovic has been stellar. Tonight he gets the shutout, but I'll tell you what, he'd be the first to tell you, the way the defense played in front of him, he saw the puck all night. He didn't have to stand on top of his head to make the acrobatic save. It was, had a chance to talk to Stefan Nason after the game, and he said it best. It was Plymouth Whaler hockey. This is the epitome of what we like to refer to as Whaler hockey.
And you want to talk about we're talking about goaltending, and we've seen brilliance on both sides of these teams. We've seen brilliance. We've seen saves. We've seen there was a point, in the third, Whalers had a 2-on-1, and he played. The goats. The way everybody was expecting to see 6-0 on the board, and we had our mouth open, looking at the scoreboard and still seeing 5-0. So this kind of win, especially for a goaltender, that they get his first goose egg in the playoffs. It's gotta put a little fire under you, and then the way how this team said, okay, well, we can't beat them mentally. We can't beat them physically. Okay, I guess we need to have time to regroup. And the Whalers never gave them time to regroup.
No, they didn't. And you know what? At the end of the game, when you saw Gabriel and Sweet go out there and take runs at guys, that's what you refer to as time and place. There's no need to react right now. They're bigger fish to fry. It's finishing this series. It's looking ahead to London. At last check, London was up 3-0 at home and looking to finish out Kitchener. So, I will say this, Alex Nedeljkovic, a fantastic bounce back, because he was yanked, of course, in Owen Sound. He gets the shout-out. And you know what? I expect Jordan Biddington to bounce back. It's not going to be easy to finish these guys off up in their own rink, and I think the boys know that.
And I'm glad you made up that great point, because especially today, right? Especially today, where if anybody who's ever played sports, it's a mental thing. When you get your mind prepared, you go out there, somebody gets the best of you. It takes a lot for you to get up on your bootstraps, put your helmet back on, and say, okay, all right, that's a fluke. I got to go back out there. And, going to have to see that change tomorrow in Game 6. But for the Whalers right now, that is the biggest spark you can probably get winning back home ice at home. To tell your goaltenders, to tell your defense, to tell your fans, okay, you know what? We're not going to lie. They got the best of us. We're coming back. But we're coming home to show you guys this is not the last time you're going to see us today. This is not the last game you're going to see us. And like you said, like they say, it's Whalers hockey. If you've never been to the game, you don't know what Whalers hockey looks like. Well, if you see the replay of this game, you're going to know the definition of why every time they score, we go, woo, because it's the definition of there's another one coming, and then after that one, there's another one coming. And this is the spark that you have to have. This is where a coach puts on the board and says, this is what you need to achieve for Game 6. And I don't know what's your thoughts of how you think they're going to come in. Going into Game 6, it's going to be very hard to close out a team on their turf. It's very hard. They're going to have the fan support. They're going to have one more little gear when it looks like, okay, this might be our last game. The fans are going to help them get into another gear. How do you think the Whalers are going to?
Well, first of all, Owen Sound's going to step up. I think you nailed it. They're at home. They're facing desperation. Every guy in the room, and I think starting with Mike Vellucci will tell you the toughest one to get is the last one. And I'll tell you what, if they come out in Owen Sound, I don't care what rank they're playing at, they come out with an effort like this tonight where every inch of the ice was fought over. Every battle, it seemed, ended up in the Whalers' favor. I like the Whalers' chances against anybody. In Game 6, in Game 7, in Game 9, if one existed. I like the Whalers' chances against anybody if they come out with this type of effort.
And this type of effort, discipline was a huge factor.
Sure was.
You have to be very disciplined because you have a team that is starting to feel that door opening. And once you go through that door, your season's over. And they're starting to see that door open, and they're actually seeing the Whalers one by one open the door and saying, oh, good season, good season. And they were, like you said, they're trying to take the shots at them. They're trying to take the low blow hits. There's a couple of players where the whistle was blown, and they come right behind everybody else, right behind the referee, and hit Whalers players. And the Whalers were just phenomenal in discipline of saying, okay, boom, take the game, wipe yourself off, get back, and get ready for the drop of the puck.
It's time and place. I mean, right now, there are bigger fish to fry. It's a scenario where, they have to say to themselves, is it worth taking a penalty right now to get your revenge and everything? The biggest revenge is beating them on the scoreboard, and that's what the Whalers did here tonight.
And anybody, whoever thought about revenge is best served cold. Yeah. And this is a cold dish, fresh out the deepest part of the freezer. And there you go, a 5-0 win. And, as a fan and, learning how to look at the plays and then come to you guys with the stats and everything. Here's the one thing that you guys probably would never see. There was a section, there's always a section for the away team. That section, each game they have had a home game here, has been louder than the Whalers fans. Tonight, they were quiet like a mouse in a church building. And then the Whalers fan, after the first 2 goals, it seemed like everybody started to get the sniff of, Game 5? Game 5, then goes 3-0. Game 5, and then you hit 4 and you go, Game 5. And it was beautiful to watch the fans, and there was a lot of young kids, and there was a family right behind me. This is their first Whalers game. And they said, man, do they play hard like this all the time? I turned around and I looked at them. I said, this is the tip of the iceberg. This is just sending a message to a team saying, okay, you got us last week, you got us the last game, but I don't know if you saw the sign when you walked in. I don't know if you saw the well in the middle of the ice. This is our turf, and you're not going to do that here.
No, it wasn't going to happen, and I think the crowd